Welcome. Episode 4. Wow, it's been a month.
Yeah, that's true.
Time
How
goes
fast
by
it goes.
Fast.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
Wow.
Pals, welcome to our podcast again. Thank you so much for listening. So,
Social.
what's up this week? How's it been going?
It's been going well. I'm working on this movie as an assistant director.
That's
so
true.
it's been a lot of meetings. And
Yeah.
so this will be a 5-day shoot. We've been preparing it for months.
Wow.
And I'm just the assistant director. Each person is working so hard, like meeting with each other, talking about we need this and that.
Yeah.
And they need a big budget for it. So we're trying to
Really?
get money. Yeah. They
Could
got
they
like
get
a grant.
investors?
They could. I mean,
Uh-huh.
you could always, but it's
Yeah.
hard to convince people,
Right.
right?
Is the idea premise of the movie good? Or
I think
do you know
so. It's like a
Mm.
young woman who is like coming to terms with her relationship with her mom and with her
Oh.
like kind of misfortunes a little bit,
Right.
and like also becoming a woman. Like she just turns 18 in the movie. She has to like
Mhm.
realize what her priorities are and how to like be grateful for everything.
Yeah.
So it's very sweet and relatable,
Oh, okay.
but
That's good.
it's hard.
That's
to make
such a
money.
good experience, though. You can share it with us, like,
Yeah, for
after
sure.
the week. Yeah.
Yeah, as an
I see.
assistant director, like what you do is basically organize how things will run on set. It's like, okay, so 40 minutes to do the one actor's makeup, and then 15 minutes for the other. Then we need a car to drive them here. Now we need the lighting team to do their thing and the camera
Mhm.
team to do that. And then we have 5 minutes for rehearsals, and then we can do 3 takes. So you just like schedule all this, keep meeting with different people, go through it, that sort of thing. I think it's going to be really fun.
And how long did it take for them and you also, like, to get to this point of shooting
oh my
right
god.
now?
So this is like a 15-minute short film, right? Very small. It's very small.
Yeah.
At least like 2.5 months we've been working on
You're kidding.
it. It takes so long.
Wow.
I know.
For
That's
just 15 minutes. You see how much work goes into that?
Mhm.
And you're going to have everything, like a lot of actors? How many
Yeah,
actors?
I
are
have
there?
7 actors.
7 actors.
Mm.
And
20 people working on the crew.
Oh.
So
Wow.
it's pretty crazy. And like think about that. I remember last week I talked about this guy from Nigeria, or this guy who was like saying you should go make movies in Nigeria.
Right.
Apparently they make their movies in 7 days. So I don't know how.
Oh my goodness.
Like their features.
So the schedule has to be really, like,
Yeah.
tight. And so what time do you start and what time, like?
So for most days we're doing like 9 to 12 hours every day,
Mm.
and it's like kind of different based on like some of the stuff we're outside, so you need the sunlight. Some stuff we need like nighttime light, so it starts at 9 p.m. goes to 6.
Oh,
But it's crazy. Like yesterday all day we were just driving around the city finding places to film.
really?
Oh my God.
This last minute?
Yeah, I know.
You're gonna shoot
Shoot is
next
in
week.
4 days. Yeah.
4 days.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, now it's all locked. It's done.
Yeah. So where is it? Like the
We're
location, so we
all
can
over
go
the
there.
place. Come show up. So well, I won't say what days we're there, but
Mm.
we're at a cemetery in Etobicoke. So I won't
Oh.
say which cemetery, but it's a beautiful. Actually, we were there yesterday. It's huge, just like the
Yeah.
cemetery near here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so many kids passed away. Death is looming around the corner. I feel like it's very scary,
That's true. Yeah.
but it's always peaceful
Life
to be
is
at a
short.
cemetery. Yeah, life is so
Yeah.
short. And you know what like how I know life is short?
Mm.
So this morning I woke up, and I always put my hair in a bun at night.
right.
And I woke up, took my bun out, it ripped. The bun broke, and it was like, oh, I love this bun. I always use it.
That's how you realize life is short. Life is as short as a bar.
Yeah, because it was totally fine yesterday, and suddenly it's just broken. And that happened like the other
You're
day
serious? That's how you got your big, like,
Big
idea
moment.
of death and
too, right? Because it was fine. It was doing great. I love this bun. I think about it, and then suddenly, whoop! Now you can never use it again.
That's right. Yeah, that is emotional.
And also, when we were driving here, we almost crashed, and like the tire popped.
That's
Almost.
true, yeah. Almost, yeah.
Oh my God!
She's a good driver, though.
I am a good driver. I don't know what happened. We were just U-turning, and
Yeah.
I instead of like doing a 3-point, I was just like, yeah, I can do a U-turn, and I hit the curb, and I was about to drive away just out of embarrassment. Like it made a big sound, and I was like, okay. And then Paris was like, Anna was like, stop, something fell, and then we got out of the car. The whole thing in front of the tire,
car,
it fallen.
That's true.
That's
yeah.
awful.
And I was like, how could you do that? You said you're a good driver. And here I am without a license. Just
Oh, do you have G1?
I do.
Okay, easy.
I'm scared of driving. I'm not.
Yeah, you told me a kind of crazy story. I don't
Yeah,
even know
that's
if you
true.
want the person to know.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. I did something really bad. Some bad accidents I had with somebody else's car, so kind of traumatized from that. But I'm kidding. I'm all right. I'm all right. I can always have bike, so it's
Oh
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Scooter, skateboard.
That's right. Yeah. Actually, the other day, this there's a woman that is our neighbor. So she was I was in this house for like 2 years that I'm living right now. And I would always wave at this woman. She would sit in front of her house and has like a chair that she sits on every morning till evening when the weather is good.
Every morning till evening?
Yeah, she just sits there. Like she's usually there when I go out of house.
Is she old?
Yeah, she's an old woman that is in our neighborhood. So she always sits there and always watches over the neighborhood. She's like this, surveillance camera there. She has she knows everything about every neighbor and what's going on there, and she just reports to everybody. It's amazing, yeah. Every neighborhood, every street needs someone like that.
Right.
And she was sitting there, and for 2 years I would wave at her, but I never even talked to her.
Okay.
Like I never, ever, ever in these 2 years talked to her, but I would always wave at her, and she would wave at me. Okay. We always had this interaction, just a wave. I would wave at her, she would wave at me. That's it. And for the first time yesterday, I talked to her. She was just in our neighbor's house.
Yeah.
And so I was going outside. I was actually just putting the trash out, and she was there, and she talked to me. She was so funny. She was an Italian lady.
Wow.
So funny. Oh my gosh. She was making fun of everybody there. And she was so brutal, so sarcastic. Oh, amazing woman.
Wow.
I can't believe it. But 2 years I was there just waving at her. But she would straight up ask me like, oh, do you have a boyfriend? Like the first thing. That's so cute. And then it was like she would always see me like ride with my bike outside of house.
Yeah.
Just take my bike and go out. So yeah, she always knows like, where did you go? Or people would pass when we were sitting in front of our neighbor's house, and people would pass in the sidewalk, and she would say, oh, this person is like that. This person is like this. Oh, what happened to this one? Yeah, she knows everybody's business. That's crazy. Yeah. But she was like really brutal to the other neighbor that invited her, actually. The woman actually went to, the dental cost is so expensive here. So it's so expensive that most people just decide to go to another country to do their dental services and all that. So this neighbor of ours went to Iran for the whole winter just to do her, her teeth and all that. So just to get it done. I don't know what the problem was, but it would have been so expensive here.
That's what even eye surgery is like that, where it's like it would cost less for you to get a plane ticket to Iran, plane ticket back, and get eye surgery there.
Look at that.
Than to get it here. But
now everybody's gonna go there, so it's gonna get expensive there.
That's true.
Yeah, but that's true. Yeah, she was there the whole winter, and now she just came back. And she has decided to throw a teeth party.
That's so cool. Teeth party.
A teeth party. That's amazing. Yeah, she just wanted to do that next week, I think. Like really seriously, though.
This was not the teeth party?
No, this was not.
It was just the front door.
Yeah, they always do that, apparently. Yeah. They were just talking about like bringing some tequila and
That's so fun. This is all like women, like 30s.
Yeah, the women in like 30s, 40s. I was always a kid and never like was part of these kind of gatherings of women. And now that I'm like finally accepted in these parties, like it's refreshing too. Because usually I'm with people my age or a little bit older, but when you're a kid, your mother is always like in these gatherings and is talking and gossiping and all that, and you're not into that. But when you get older, it's just kind of so enticing and kind of interesting. It's new for you,
especially with people who you kind of like in a way and like kind of see the same way as. Because with some women, like it could be the most fun ever, just like literally making fun of somebody else. Yeah. But also like with some women, it's just the same conversation all the time.
The vibe is important.
Yeah.
Like, is
But
going
these
on.
people sound super lovely.
I see it actually as a win-win situation when I go
Mm.
here, because they get to gossip, right? They like people to be around.
Yeah.
The more the better. And I get to see these people and get like character ideas and story
True.
ideas, and it's lovely to see different kind of people and characters and
Mhm.
traits. So
You know what? I just also like thought about this yesterday. I was sitting with
Yes.
my dad at a dinner table,
Mhm.
and so I think my dad and I are really alike. Like I think you agree.
yes,
Because
yes, for
we
sure.
we like we think very similarly, like compared to my
Mhm.
mom and brother, and we like walk the same. Like if you see us from behind, we walk the same,
Oh.
and we look the same. So it's
Yeah.
like all these similarities, but there's like some big differences between us. And so I was just watching him like, this is a character right here. So he grabs a paper towel, wipes the table with it. Like there's crumbs on
Right.
the table, dirty oil, whatever. He wipes the table, and then as he's talking, like doesn't even think about it. He grabs it, wipes his nose with it. And I'm just sitting there like, why did you just grab another one? And then he's still talking. He looks at me and he starts wiping his mouth. And I was like, that's the opposite order of what you should do. Your mouth is the most important. What the First wipe your mouth, then if you want, like wipe your nose, then wipe the table at the end. I don't know. So I was just like, this is a character right here. Like, what's going through his head that he's like,
And if you know what his father is like, you would be even more like, he's this successful
Yeah.
real estate guy, you know?
right.
And that's even more funny.
It's so goofy.
I
What the heck? It's
know.
already dirty, and then he put his nose on it. I don't know. He's a character. He's very
That's
cool.
so true. I
Oh
mean,
my God.
comedy always comes from the contrast between
Right.
some
Yeah.
action that a kind of particular person does. I
Mhm.
think that's a kind of comedy.
Yeah, for sure.
So-
Like I think he was talking about something really serious. Like he's like, yeah, we
Right.
should do this with the
And
house
then do
and all
something
that at the same time.
That's so,
So
good. Yeah.
goof.
Like
Mhm.
in everyday characters, I also try to see that a lot.
Mm.
But you have to kind of train your eye and ears for that.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
You know what? I think since us talking about it is like maybe I would have never noticed this.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I wouldn't have even sat at the table with my dad. But like
right.
since we talked about look at people and like see what characters they are, this
Yeah.
moment just happened and I was watching like I was like kind of laughing and I was like, did nobody else see this? This is gold.
Yeah, I know. People around us like are not perfect. Nobody is perfect.
Yeah.
So before that, I used to like think that everybody's really perfect and good and everybody's doing perfect. Just I don't.
Yeah, yeah, or at least there's some people who are perfect, but it's
Yes.
just like people around me who haven't gotten it yet.
That's
But
so
no
true.
one is.
That's what's really good. Like life is a stage, as like Shakespeare said, I suppose, right?
That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, everybody is just they're not perfect. They have their failure moments, and
yeah.
you have it, so you can like write about that.
Damn, it's always like yeah, a couple steps forward, a couple steps back.
That's true.
Forward, back.
Yeah.
All we can do is just try, right?
That's true. Yeah. That's why today we're gonna talk about Little Women.
Oh yes.
Yes.
That's a great segue actually,
yeah.
because this is a story that was written, if I'm not wrong, like 1868.
1868.
How many years is that? At least
Mm.
200? I don't know. A very long time.
Yeah, I think so. 160
Something.
something like that.
Yeah. So you would think, and it's about this topic that you would think is changing a lot, because it's about not even just women's rights, but like how women think and how they should act. You know,
Mhm.
so you would be like, yeah, from 200 years ago, it's totally different.
Yeah, women have changed. Society
Yeah.
has changed. But no, you realize like women have been the same. Like
Yeah.
the struggles.
The struggles has been the same. The way of
Yeah.
thinking has been the same. Like
Mhm.
line by line is still exactly how I'm thinking. And we talked
Oh.
about it the other like 2 weeks ago or something.
Right.
Where it was like, oh man, I really like sometimes wish I was a guy, and like
Mhm.
that's the life, that's the good life. I don't know if I told you, but that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. And then this is
the
exactly
artist's life is like
Yeah.
the ideal. So.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe it'll take like a couple thousand years for it to go away, but it's
Mhm.
definitely this like ingrained way of thinking of it's with choosing between, do I embrace my beauty and like the attention,
Femininity.
yeah, or do I like just throw it all out and try and work hard and
Right.
get somewhere like a guy?
That's
You know,
true.
it's just big struggle.
Yeah, I mean, especially like when you come from a kind of society that is totally like against women.
Yeah.
Not here, but like a traditional country, conservative country like Iran, for example, or Middle East mostly. It's just gets unconsciously, like you get all these things recorded that men are like gonna get their way all the time.
Yeah.
You are just submissive and you're not gonna, you just have to do what they tell you. And even when you don't agree at the time, even it's kind of like, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just so ingrained in you that you act according to that law, unwritten law.
And you would think if you realize that this is happening, you would stop it. That you'd be like, okay, I realize that men and women are the same, and that's that. And it's in my head now. But no, I remember even since I was like 5, all I've been doing is like, if you remember like these songs that girls and guys used to sing, where it would be like, girls are better because of this.
Oh yes,
guys are this and strong, whatever.
I know this always has been this division between men and women in like Iranian society, in this kind of traditional societies.
And I feel like you were the exact same way as me, where I was just like, I'm going to be different. I'm going to be the woman who never gets married, never has kids, works so hard, becomes the top of her field, whatever.
Right.
But even to like every day, it's a struggle between, it's so easy to just be cute and find a guy.
Right, a rich guy that kind of like
and
provides for you.
That's what Little Women is all about. It's like 4 sisters. Each of them deals with this a different way.
That's true, yes. Exactly,
Oh
like
God.
to this day we have this kind of debate or struggle or dilemma each one of us has, even if we don't admit it.
Yeah.
Am I gonna just find somebody that is going to take care of me, someone really like rich, or even if not rich, a supportive man?
Yeah, successful guy
That has these standards. Am I gonna go for that, like put my energy in finding that, or am I going to like go for my career? And then there are these people that tell you, okay, women will not be satisfied if they go if they don't get married by the time like they're 30 and they don't have children, and they're not going to be satisfied with that.
It's an everyday battle. Like one day you want that love and family life, the next day all you want to do is work, and there's no way to like know what's right.
I think it's really about each person, and you define your own success, right?
Right.
Or satisfaction in life. I feel like as long as it's a choice you consciously made and you want to do it, and be honest with yourself, right? Be honest with yourself, question yourself, am I choosing this career life or this kind of life because of what I've been taught, really? Am I getting influenced by something, or is it something that I really, truly, truly want? And I've thought about this a lot myself, and I feel like I want to dedicate my life to creating.
Amazing. Yeah.
That's
me too.
Yeah. And there's like this thing that you are successful if you have decided consciously to do something and you go for it and do it. For example, a mother is successful if she actually has always wanted to be a mother and becomes a mother. A housewife is a successful person. Everybody is, as long as they have consciously like chosen the path, and
that makes it easier, because now I know what I want and you know what you want. But then you think like, okay, what if I'm 40 and now it's too late for me to have kids? I can no longer physically have kids. And then I wonder, no, maybe I should have found the balance between both lives, even though I've never wanted to have kids. But like as you get older, you kind of start thinking about
probably, but for me, at least, I never wanted to have my own kids. I always thought that if ever I wanted to have kids, it would be like I would adopt.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, because I feel like, I don't know, having your own kids when there are so many people in the world without families.
That's true.
Like, why would you?
You're so
it's kind
right.
Of selfish, don't
it's
you
super
think?
selfish, because it's just I want to create.
I want to
continue my legacy.
And I want to like put all of these things, insecurities and all these things that I have and I couldn't have on this person, and I want to have a mini me, you know, like a sculpture of me
Yeah.
And people say, no, you're selfish if you don't want to have kids.
If you don't want to like even adopt, I think you're a little selfish, because then you're just like me, I'll live my life. I don't care to help anyone else. But also there's some people who don't have kids but like donate to charities a lot and like take care of their relatives. Like that's my uncle. So that's another way
true.
of,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's hard to say.
There is more ways that you can create in life than procreate, you know?
Exactly. You gotta, yeah.
There's so many ways that you can contribute to this world. You came to this world as a like human that you came here. There are so many ways that you can create.
Yeah.
Reproduction is not the only way. You can do many things.
And creation is the goal of life. So you could just go through this
create
path.
art, create something, you
Create a book, create a
yeah,
business.
new business, whatever. Like
and
an
it's
idea.
all fulfilling. Yeah, it's
It
not
is.
just a kid that's fulfilling.
That's true. Yes. And yeah, this is kind of like the character of Joe is really relatable for women right now, I think. And the other ones, like Amy, was always on my nerves though.
Oh yeah. So Amy's the one who from childhood is like, I'm pretty, I want to marry rich.
Yes.
I know what I am as a woman. I know I have these limitations, but I can complement them with a guy. Which is one way of thinking. I mean,
yes, for sure.
no, and definitely Amy, like since she was a kid, like kids are always annoying. Once she got older and like got into her art and like started studying, she got a little better.
That's true. Yeah.
But it's so interesting. Like for example, Meg, the oldest, she loves the idea of like living in high society and going to parties and dressing up, but she was never rich. And then her husband is also not rich later. Like she didn't get married well, and she's just constantly like in pain.
Always struggling.
Her biggest struggle is like, I need money to buy some kind of outfit.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that so sad?
It is.
I relate to it though, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I love these four characters. They're so opposite of each other, but still so connected and like so human. The characters.
I know. Like the writer Louisa May Alcott is a genius, because imagine in 1868 she sold this book as a woman. She sold the rights, and she also like held the copyright for herself. And look, like for years, for decades, she was making money off of this one book. You know, which is a perfect book. Like obviously, you should make money from it. Just like
classic.
Yeah, just like the $400,000 that guy made. Like, you make a good art, you get investment. But the fact that she was a woman,
that's true.
At that time,
I mean, a few decades ago, or I think a few years ago before that, women couldn't really put their own names. Like Jane Austen couldn't do that.
Exactly.
She would just by a lady. This story, like Pride and Prejudice, I think she said like by a lady.
Wow.
And then when she had Sense and Sensibility, she wrote by the author of Pride and Prejudice.
Wow.
Like she wouldn't until she died. And after that, his brother was the one that wrote that this was Jane Austen.
And this is one of the greatest writers of all time.
That's true, yes, for sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and
good story.
So the fact that she actually published it in her own name, and you say she got the copyright too?
She did. Like she dealt with. So you know the 2019 version that has the ending with like her selling the book.
Right.
So apparently Greta Gerwig wrote that like exactly based on Louisa May Alcott's life.
That's true.
And kind of added it to the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So
that was a kind of twist.
Great.
That was not in the book, so that's kind of the difference between the adaptations of the book and then 2019.
And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Like if you're adapting a book, you don't have to stay 100% faithful, I feel like. Because like that last scene added a lot in my mind. It gave it this, because Louisa May Alcott wrote this still about her own family and her own growing up as a writer. So why not add this one last element of her selling the story, of her writing the book about these four?
That's
true. That's cool as hell.
Yeah, and you get to see like the struggle actually.
Yes.
How she negotiates with the guy at the end of the movie. Yeah.
And it's so cool. Like even when she was writing it, she didn't want Joe to get married at all, but she was forced to, because the publishers were like, Joe has to get married. So she just wrote another character, a random professor guy who comes in, and they get married by the end, even though she didn't want him to get married. Like want her.
I didn't know that. That's actually what happens in the movie too. So
yeah,
she gets forced to have a love interest for one of the characters.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
that's so cool.
Mm.
But yeah, I think I actually realized that the relationship of Joe and the professor was so different from the book to the movie.
Mm-hmm. How was it in the book? I forget.
I think in the book he kind of like really criticizes her. I think so.
Oh.
It's been a long time.
Mm.
But for the movie, I think it was like he was understanding still, like he was just trying to help her.
Right, like
But
in the
she
movie,
was the one
yeah.
that was like really reactionary.
I think in the 2019 movie he was barely even there. He was just kind of like a
Yeah,
side character.
that's
But
true.
in the 1995, like he was kind of the guy who's like, "Oh, you can do it. Write your own story.
Encouraging.
Let's go to this play together."
Mhm.
Mm.
I'm not sure, but I don't think in the book he was encouraging.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing that they changed.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Christian Bale is in.
Yeah, I heard you kind of like that guy.
I
huh?
do. Yes,
He's cute.
he is. Oh my. Yes, he's very good. Batman.
Batman.
And
Wait,
Bateman.
is that? When did you first have a crush on him?
Oh.
For
was
which movie?
The first time was when I saw American Psycho, as stupid as
That he's a murderer in that.
I know.
He kills women.
I know, right? Look at that. And then, of course, Little Women.
Oh, really?
And Batman, yeah.
I see it, but he's very cute, and he's like super serious in real life, which is hot.
Oh, okay.
But I was gonna say something, and now it escapes me. Wait, it was about so you know how in the story, like every single interaction they have, like we kind of talked about this before too, is so integral to how the story ends.
Right.
You know, like it's like the little girl May is like, "Please, guys, take me to the party with you. I'm bored at the house," and they're like,
Oh,
"No, you're young." And then like cut to 20 minutes later,
Yeah.
she's the one being taken by Aunt March to like foreign country to study
To
instead of
France.
Joe.
Yeah.
And it's like you think back to that day. Oh, that day she couldn't go, but now she's taken Joe's place. How age like messes everything up, and the way like, well, this is kind of a spoiler, but the way like characters interact, and then
Mhm.
in the future like they're gonna start dating,
Mhm.
but you can never know like who it is gonna be.
Uh-huh,
So cool,
yes,
so
that's
cool.
True.
That's why. So the one thing I did notice about the 1995 one was that it just seemed like everything was happening too quickly. Where
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
maybe because I'd watched the 2019 one first, but it
Mhm.
just felt like, okay, here's an event. They go to a party. Now they're
Yeah.
at the house fighting. Now they go skating, and then they make up immediately. And it's like, okay, between these two scenes, I feel like, cause
That's
this is
true.
remember that scene where Joe is so angry. I love that scene at the
Uh-huh.
kid. She's like, "I hate you. You're
Yeah.
dead to me. I never want to see you again."
Yeah.
I thought that's
Talking to
great
Amy,
writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That is
amazing.
very good.
Mm.
The showcase of anger like
Yeah.
that, and especially from a character like Joe.
Exactly.
She stays true to the characters.
Mm.
Very good. Like you live through those characters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like each one of the sisters are a part of each woman, you know? You have this fancy
Yeah,
part that wants to
exactly.
kind of like be always taken care of, treated like a princess,
Mm.
like Amy. You have this kind one. You have like Beth.
Yeah, one in her own world, fully just Beth.
Yeah.
Creating art, not talking to anyone, super
That's true.
shy. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the fact that like they also the characters also like are true to themselves, like
Yeah.
true to that kind of beliefs that they have and just go through life with that.
That's true. Yeah, they keep these beliefs throughout their life. Exactly.
Right,
Mm.
yeah.
That's
And
strong.
I really loved it. But I kind of like wish that Lori and Joe kind of ended up together.
I know. That's what they kept hinting at.
I know.
So that's why it felt. Really
I know a lot of people will disagree. They say no, they're just friends, they're just pals. But or like no, they're not compatible in that sense, like as romantic partners.
Yeah, but why are they not compatible? You know,
know,
I
right?
think it's because like Lori just wanted a wife.
Yes.
Cause then he ended up hitting. First he hit on Meg, then he hit on Joe.
He didn't though.
Well,
He
hit
was like
a little bit.
flirty.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
No, not like.
And then he hit on Amy. So I'm like, I think you just wanted like a March sister.
That's true. That's exactly what he says. I think
Did he?
In one of the movies, at least,
Mm.
he says, "I always wanted to." Get a March
That's fucked
sister."
up.
Oh yes, I think it was in the
94?
94 movie where Laurie actually tells Amy that I always wanted to get a March sister, just like you always wanted to marry a rich guy.
Oh,
That's, I think,
that's
exactly.
messed up, but it's cool.
I know, right?
Mm.
Like, if not this sister, the other is
Yeah.
available. Not this one, no problem. The other one.
God damn.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
That's so bad. Because they were like the ones that took care of him.
I
when-
guess.
Yeah, emotionally, when he was really vulnerable. He
Mm.
didn't have anybody, his grandfather. He didn't have any parents. And his
Mm.
grandfather wasn't really attentive to him. So those were the only
That's
ones that
true.
he kind of got love from. So he kind of felt obligated.
Oh,
to
that's a
be his-
great way to think about it, actually. It's so smart.
Yeah, that's kind of
They grew up together.
Mhm.
He's always watching these four
right.
interact.
And Joe was like always this. Joe was like this, not a woman to him. I feel like always for him it was like a boy
Buddy. Yeah.
buddy. Yes,
At least in the
just because he didn't have any friends, any
yeah,
guy friends, you know. So
that's true.
that's kind of they were really like
But at the same time, he fully like asked Joe out, and Joe said no. Remember?
asked Joe out or told
Like in
to
well,
marry.
yeah. Well, that's what they did at that time. They're not like, let's go on a date,
Yeah,
because they're going on dates every day anyway,
yeah,
but just not calling it dates.
Mhm.
But at least in the 1994 movie, he was like, "Hey, I love you.
Mhm.
This is it." And then she's like, "But you're just a friend."
Yeah.
Big asshole.
That wouldn't have worked out though.
Mm.
It wouldn't have, because as you said, like he wanted a wife and he was a gentleman, so he would have been obligated to the society to kind of present himself really nice all the time, even though he
That's
didn't.
true.
Even though he didn't when he was rejected, he would make
Yeah.
a fool out of himself by like drinking a lot and having all these women and all
Yeah.
that. So, but still, like he would have a household. He would have to like be present in society at the time. So it was a big deal for them, especially
Mhm.
because they were gentlemen and had like
And he was also a little sick of like work, like class
Oh.
work and reading and stuff. He was always complaining like, "Oh, college, so much work, and I'm an artist, but like I'm pretty happy right now, you know."
the opposite of Joe.
Exactly.
That always wanted to go to college.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So maybe it wouldn't have worked out.
Mm-hmm. And Joe was just not gonna put up with any of like these society people or something
Yeah.
like that. Wouldn't attend any balls or not do anything. So Amy is a good choice.
I guess.
But if it was at first, not after proposing to the other
I
sister.
know. It's so awkward. Like that's my
Mhm.
younger sister. Well, you
Yeah.
met her when she was like 5. That's so mean and stupid.
5?
Well,
Or-
like 8, right? Or 10.
13 or something. I think.
Huh. Well, in the 1994 movie, she was a little girl. Remember?
Yes.
She was a fully little girl.
That's true.
But another amazing thing about, so you know how you always, at least I always think, why do they keep remaking these movies? It's
Uh-huh.
already perfect. Like the
That's right.
1994 version, I watched it after 2019, and I was like, this is already so good. It's hitting all the right beats,
That's true.
making me feel exactly how it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Great casting, great direction, great cinematography. No problems here. It's so good. But then Greta Gerwig goes in and actually teams up with the same writer who wrote the
Oh.
1994 one. She
Okay.
produced this one. But she's like, yeah, even though hundreds of versions of this movie exist, I'm
Mm.
going to do my tale. And it was so worthy. It was actually, and also the way like she restructures the whole thing freely, like starting when they're old and then going back to like rethink the memories that they have.
Yes, all the flashbacks, just
Mhm.
going back. It feels so natural.
Yeah, it's just good to do this sort of thing,
Mm.
like especially with a good work of art that's always
Yes.
relevant. Why not recreate it?
Yeah, just play around with the piece and all that
Mm-hmm.
to see how you can showcase it. Exactly. Like as you said, the other one was the only problem you had with it was the older
It
one
felt-
was
yeah.
because it was rushed.
It was rushed, like
So-
exactly, 'cause like she started screaming in that scene, "I hate you," and then
Yeah.
next scene
Their
she's
makeup.
skating, yeah,
Aw,
and then the girl, even though you hated her, you go save her, and then you're like,
yes.
"I love you more than anything in the world."
Mm.
No. I mean, maybe this is months apart, but because you put the scenes back to back, it feels like she's just saying it the next day,
Right.
you know? So it felt
yeah.
rushed like that.
That's true. Yeah,
But
that's kind of what happens exactly. But yeah, in 2019, that wasn't a problem because it was just like their memory. They were just reviewing that stuff.
And when you remember your memories, you obviously remember the most key moments. So it just
Yes.
made sense that they remember like the fight and then the makeup.
Exactly. I at first watched the movie and then read the book.
Same.
So I also thought that it's gonna be like, I didn't know the sequence of the events. I didn't know what's gonna happen. But no, when I read the book, I realized it's just starts from the beginning, from their old memories and all. Like, no, they're just gonna go about that. So.
And like, think about it. We both watched the movie first.
Yeah.
Imagine if some filmmaker was like, this book is already perfect. I don't need to turn it into a movie. People can always read the book.
Yes.
It's like maybe we wouldn't have ever heard of it because there's millions of books. But no, they made one in 1930 something, one in 1940 something. They made a TV show. They made this and that.
A TV show too?
I think they made an anime TV show.
Oh.
And then, like, imagine even the 2019 version. Like, I didn't know about the 1994 until Greta Gerwig made it.
Right.
It's just, it keeps reintroducing this artwork to new generations.
That's true.
I feel like that's really good.
Yes, that's right. Adaptations are really good for that. I mean, movies and all that. There have been a lot of movies that just introduced me to great books that I love and like cherish and love the characters. So yeah, that's so true. Adaptations are really an art, and it never gets old. Everybody has their own interpretation.
Yeah, just your own take on the same story. Because even like, it's kind of wide belief that there's only 7 stories in general. Every single story falls into that category. You know,
like in terms of structure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I'm thinking like some of them, one of them is like a quest to get something. And then one of them is a monster that's in your house, you know, like, or something attacking you, you know? So like these random categories where it's like, okay, every single story is basically one of these, but it doesn't mean that it gets old.
Yeah.
We're constantly adapting, even as people, like things happen to us and we adapt and we become a little better.
That's true.
So why not take art and keep adding to it?
That's right.
That's why I think, it will, like, we'll never run out of things to tell stories about.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. That's so true. And especially like these things are structures for a reason, because that's how our brain works, or like likes these kind of stories. So you can always add everything that you want, like your content, your own experiences to that. So it never gets boring, really. Yeah. That's true.
So I would recommend that you check out Little Women in some shape or form. I'm sure you watched the 2019 version, but
that was so famous.
Yeah, that's true. But anything especially if you're a woman, like if you're a man too, but it's so relatable if you're a woman. It's like painfully relatable.
Yeah.
Every line.
That's so true. Yes. The sister. I don't have a sister, but I can imagine like what it would be like when I read it.
Yeah.
I can imagine. And now I wish I did have it. Like, even though there are hard times, but it's sweet at the end when I think about it.
I know. Yeah, I'm definitely sometimes jealous of my mom who has 4 sisters.
Yes, that's true.
But then you're like, okay, if my mom had to have 6 kids, like her life would be pretty miserable, I feel like. That's another thing.
Yes.
Okay, let's not end on such a sad note. We're happy. Well, we're kind of each other's sisters. You don't need a biological sister.
Exactly. Who needs it in day and age?
Yeah, just choose anyone on the street. Be like, you are my sibling.
My sister.
Yeah, that's right.
Little Women.
That's right.
Yeah. Even for men. I mean, we talked about like just women would find it really relatable, but men can learn a lot about women.
That's true. It's just well written work. Like, it doesn't matter that the characters are women.
That's true. I feel really, when I read it, I felt really cozy and like felt that Christmas atmosphere at first. It's so well written, as you said. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, funny interactions, just really visually like splendid.
That's true.
Good read.
And you get a little idea of the characters in
immediately.
The first pages. Yes. So fast. Like they do something or they say something and you realize, okay, that's just gonna repeat itself till the end of the work. That's true. Yeah, but they do make like some decisions that are against, like Meg marrying that teacher was kind of like
it just like happened for love, right? That's what, even though she was the oldest,
was a romantic though. she liked the balls and all that because she wanted to like,
Well, she wanted to like marry rich, I feel like.
yeah,
But,
but not as much as Amy. Like she liked the,
yeah, for sure.
she liked to romanticize these balls and events and being a
Yeah.
lady and all that.
And she was an actor too.
Oh,
So
okay,
kind of
yeah.
like a artsy,
That's true. Yes.
get your hands dirty.
Yeah, that's right. And then the Amy, she always wanted to like be marry rich and all that. She also struggles then and kind of gets a reality check. I feel
Yeah,
like.
for sure. Yeah, all of the characters have big, especially after this one event that happens. Every single one changes and
Yes.
grows. Oh my god! And it's just like she came up with such good plot points. Just
That's
watch it for the
right.
plot points. It's like the life of these kids who grow up to be adults, and it's so amazing to just learn from how their life played out.
That's true. And I have to say it's really hard when you have like 4 main characters.
Yeah.
It's so hard to write about that. I read it somewhere that it's just one of the hardest things because it's like you actually put your foot on the like gas pedal and then on the brake pedal at the same time. Like it just doesn't, you can't build the momentum. It's very hard when you have so many characters that you want to explore. You have to be a really good writer to do that. So it just shows how brilliant she is. That's
And I
all
mean, the
can
main
say.
character is always Joe still, but like the way all these characters get their spotlight.
Yes, exactly.
amazing.
Like they get their fair share of that, and you get a whole sense of their character and all that. But the only one that was kind of unrealistic to me was Beth. I never realized it because we don't characters shouldn't be like these angels, you know?
That's true. She's very kind.
Must have had some like bad qualities.
And she also rarely interacted with anyone. Even the sister,
Right.
she was kind of like the, hey, you should do this. And then she walks off. Like,
Yes.
well, say something, start a fight. Or like go to one of the parties. Like she never went to any of the parties either.
That's true. But it doesn't like undermine her character or anything, but I feel like she had all these things, like good qualities, and everybody loved her. So there must have been something.
Yeah, I wish there was
like-
one bad quality, just one.
exactly like an angel. I don't know. Maybe that was her point. Like she wanted something like that.
Yeah, because it's like she deserved the least what happened to her. But
Yeah, or I feel like stories are like characters are a symbol of something. So maybe all the stories are like this. So if there's a character that has a certain quality, it's like it's a symbol of that kind of quality in one person. For example, as I said, like all of these characters and their traits can be found in every woman.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a Joe in yourself and a Meg and an Amy and a Beth.
Yeah, right.
So
And the mom. A little bit of the mom.
too. So yeah, exactly. That's kind of yeah. The only one that I couldn't really believe and wasn't really human to me was Beth.
I see it.
But yeah, her weakness was that she was kind of like shy and timid. I think that's not a weakness, but at least that's the
yeah, it
only
is.
thing that I can come up with. Yeah,
I agree. Because you would rather be annoying than to just like not do anything.
in a story,
right?
yeah, it has to be like some conflict or something. I mean, the same goes for another story like Pride and Prejudice. Jane, character Jane, sister of Elizabeth, is also an unproblematic angel kind of character that just doesn't do anything bad, doesn't think negatively of anyone, doesn't gossip, doesn't like.
What
These
does she do? Does she get married to someone good?
Yes, she does. To Bingley.
Oh yeah. I should reread that one.
Right, yeah. To a rich man. But both of them are like these, I don't know, these sheeps, you know? They just are not like, they don't have any conflict or anything.
But maybe, just because there's only 2 sets of characters, maybe them being so simple brings out these 2.
That's true, yes. You get a comparison kind of, yeah.
Like in both novels, it's not like these characters being simple ruined our experience of
No.
reading it, you know?
It actually contributed a lot
Yeah.
to, I mean, I don't know. It's been a long time that Little Women has come out, so it's not a
Yeah.
spoiler anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, the character Beth actually contributed a lot in bringing the sisters together
Yeah.
at the end. To kind of, she was like this bond that they
Mhm.
lost over the years.
Because they realized even though we are together and happy now, it's not guaranteed that it will last.
Right. That's true.
And they all grew up at that moment. Realized,
Yeah.
okay, we're not just little kids who can play in the snow all day and put on our plays. We have to find our role in society. and all that.
society.
Mm.
That's true.
Okay, good stuff. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Me too. Yeah, I think I loved it. It was so fun to talk about
It
that.
was fun. Check out Little Women.
Yes.
Let us know what you
Watch
think.
Little Women. You have
Yes.
probably read it. I think most people
Read
haven't
it.
read it.
It's kind of a thick book, but
Mm-hmm.
start it. I think just read like a page and
Yeah.
then you'll be hooked.
Or audiobooks are really good. I started
Yes.
to like listen to
Mhm.
that whenever I couldn't. So
Mm-hmm.
read it, yeah. So thank you so much for listening to this episode.
Thank
we
you
appreciate
so
it.
much, Heart. Next week we're gonna talk about a special artist.
Yes.
I won't
just
say who.
yeah, follow us to see who it is and
Mhm.
kind of be our pal here.
Be our pal. Check out the TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Subscribe,
Mhm.
follow, email.
Follow the podcast. Yes. Thank you so
Yes.
much for listening.
Reach out. Let us know what you think. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much. Have a
you.
good day. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. See you.